Hey, Northside. Well, today's our final devotion in Passion Week. Yesterday we looked at Good Friday, and we saw the brutal 24-hour day and price that Jesus paid, all because you and I are sinners. The day closed, you'll remember, with the beaten, broken, and pierced body of Jesus being laid in a borrowed tomb. So what happened on Saturday? There are several passages, and you'll see them at the bottom of the screen for you to read in your own time. But I'm going to focus and just take a look on Matthew's account for Saturday. So let me read that together with us. Matthew chapter 27, beginning in verse 62. As the next day, which followed the preparation day, the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered before Pilate and said, "Sir, we remember that while this deceiver was still alive, he said that after 3 days I will rise again. So give the orders that the tomb be made secure until the third day. Otherwise, his disciples may come, steal him, and tell people he has been raised from the dead. And the last deception will be worse than the first." "You have a guard of soldiers," Pilate told them. "Go and make it as secure as you know how." Then they went and secured the tomb by setting a seal on the stone and placing the guard. There have always been those and always will be those who want to keep Jesus sealed in a tomb. It's those that say he was simply a great man who died for a cause. But that, my friends, is not who Jesus is. He alone is the Son of God who lived for all man and who died for all man. And, a little bit of a spoiler alert here, who alone rose from the dead eternally. You see, the Jewish religious leaders and the Roman government, they wanted nothing more and did everything they could to do just that, to keep Jesus in that tomb. Now, I don't want to steal tomorrow's thunder, so let's just focus on Saturday. But the first thing we see is that they were afraid the disciples might come and steal Jesus' dead body in order to make false claims that he was resurrected. Now, remember, folks, these are the same disciples that didn't even have the guts to stand up for Jesus when he was being falsely accused. In fact, Peter, who was the biggest wild card and without a doubt the most outspoken, he wouldn't even man up to a little girl just hours before. To go the extra mile then, they ordered Roman soldiers to guard the tomb. Folks, this would have been not some rent-a-cop detachment, right? But the best of the best. In fact, they even go the extra mile. They have a Roman seal placed on the tomb. See, this would have been likely a cord or a rope that would have been stretched across the tomb and the stone and then sealed on either end. And this seal was a Roman wax seal, and basically this was a tamper-proof barrier that is viewed similar to kind of the dividing line that you may see on TV today between North and South Korea, right? And if you cross that line, you die. And no one would dare tamper with a Roman seal. And not only that, but if it were tampered with, the soldiers that were responsible for guarding it, they would have paid with their own lives that price. So folks, make no mistake, no man could have removed Jesus' body from that tomb. And they certainly could not have made him appear to multitudes just days later. Another common theory is called the swoon theory. The swoon theory proposes that Jesus did not die on the cross, but merely fell unconscious. From all the beatings, he was swooned or just fainted, basically, and then later revived in the tomb. Basically, that he was resuscitated and not resurrected. Now, that's crazy. Did you know on average a man lived like 40 or 45 years old of age in Jesus' day, and women only 30 to 35 years? Why? Because they had no good medical treatment. Healthy people didn't make it to 50, but a man could survive scourging, beatings, thorns, nails, a spear in his side. Come on. Man, they didn't even have tetanus shots. Folks, there have always been and always will be those who want to keep Jesus in that tomb. Can I tell you something? All they had to do was present the body. If that were the case, all they had to do to squelch it all was to bring Jesus' body out and say, "Here he is." But they can't. In fact, if you visit the Holy Land even today, they'll take you to several different sites where they say they think this is where the tomb is, where Jesus was laid. But they don't know. Why? Because he's not there. He's not there. Listen, I hope you enjoy your readings and your time of prayer today. And I hope you'll also join us online tomorrow as we celebrate Easter and we see how this beautiful story ends. Remember, don't you be guilty of keeping Jesus in that tomb either. God bless you this Easter.
So they took his body down. The man who said he was the resurrection and the life was lifeless on the ground now. The sky was red as blood along the blade of night. As the Sabbath fell, they shrouded him in linen. Dressed him like a wound. The rich man and the women, they laid him in the tomb. 6 days shall you labor, the seventh is the Lord's. In 6 he made the earth and all the heavens, but he rested on the seventh. God rested. He said that it was finished, and the seventh day he blessed it. God rested. So they laid their hopes away. Buried all the dreams about the kingdom he proclaimed, and they sealed them in the grave. As a holy silence fell on all Jerusalem, but the Pharisees were restless, and Pilate had no peace. Peter's heart was reckless, and Mary couldn't speak, but God rested. "6 days shall you labor, the seventh is the Lord's. In 6 he made the earth and all the heavens, but he rested on the seventh. God rested. He worked till it was finished, and the seventh day he blessed it. He said that it was good, and the seventh day he blessed it. God rested. The sun went down, the Sabbath faded, the holy day was done, and all creation